Hey guys, I know this isn't ideal, but I'm gonna do 6.4 notes and put them on YouTube for you guys. So for the warm up, I was gonna have you draw all these different shapes. Hopefully, you know some of them. Some of them might be harder to remember. But if you remember, we talked about like triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, all of those. I put cat on there just because I found a cute picture of a cat. Oh, so cute. Anyway, if you notice, hexagon has 6 sides, octagon has 8 sides, pentagon has 5 sides, but a lot of these have 4 sides. So a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid has 4 sides, a kite, a rhombus, all of those have 4 sides. A kite is not a parallelogram because both sides aren't parallel, and neither is a trapezoid. But these three are types of parallelograms. So we learned those 4 rules. Write them down about parallelograms, and those still hold for square, rectangle, and rhombus. So they were, I don't remember the order, but diagonals, bisect, same side interior, add to 180, opposite sides are the same. I'm just going to write congruent, and opposite angles are the same. Just writing congruent for ease. So within parallelograms, though, we have specific types. So like this is the overarching category. And parallelograms are a type of quadrilateral, which are a type of polygon. But within that, we then have these more specific types. So we have a rectangle, and let's draw it, a rhombus. And so we're going to learn some rules that are specific to those. So again, all 4 of those rules apply, but there's some additional ones. So here's your basic ones. Rhombus has 4 congruent sides. So 4 congruent sides. And a rectangle has 4 right angles. Those are the ones we kind of know. 4 right angles. And then a square, believe it or not, it has both of the rules for rhombus and rectangles. So it's basically a rhombus rectangle. Everything that works for rectangle is also true of square, and everything that works with rhombus is also true of square. So instead of rewriting all of those rules, I guess I will. I'll just copy and paste. So this has 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. Okay, and then there's a couple new rules we're going to learn. So one of them is right here. This is a rhombus. See, all 4 sides are the same. It's saying that the diagonals, when they cross, they meet at 90 degrees. Basically, the diagonals are perpendicular or meet at 90 degrees. So where's our rule? That was for rhombus. And we can say diagonals cross at 90 degrees. And that would be the same for a square because it is a type of rhombus. Another rule about a rhombus is that when the diagonals cross, these are bisected. So the diagonals bisect the corner angles or the opposite angles. Basically, 1 and 2 are the same. So under rhombus, diagonals, I'm going to use this shortcut for bisect the opposite angles. And that would be true of a square as well. I'm running out of room. So those are the 2 extra rules for a rhombus, which again are true of squares. Then there's also a rule for a rectangle. Oh, you guys, you missed some really bad jokes, some really bad ones. Why was the math teacher late? He took the wrong bus. What? That's always funny. But here's the rule for rectangles. If you have a rectangle, these diagonals are exactly the same length. So if that yellow one is 10, this yellow one is 10. So diagonals are congruent would be our piece of info about the rectangle. Diagonals are congruent. And then because a square is a type of rectangle, that would go in for square as well. So this is not the most beautiful thing, but this has kind of all of our rules. So again, the 4 for parallelograms still hold, but there's some additional ones for rhombus, rectangle, and then square. I'll leave it on here for a second in case you guys want to screenshot or write or make it look prettier or whatever works for you guys. Oh, here's another good joke. How do you keep warm in a cold room? You go to the corner because it's 90 degrees. What? I know. It would have been good if I was there. There's only 3 example problems. I just want to kind of talk through them so you get the idea. This one said they're telling us it's a parallelogram, so we know that. And they just want to know, is it a rhombus, a rectangle, or a square? And because this is a right angle, they told us it's a parallelogram, so opposite angles are the same. Same side interior, add to 90, so that would be a right angle. Then opposites would be the same. We also know opposite sides are the same. So it's basically all 3. It's a square because all 4 sides and all 4 angles are the same. It's a rectangle because all 4 angles are right. And it's a rhombus because all 4 sides are the same. So this is the more specific answer, but technically all 3 work. And then this is what most of the homework is like. They want you to take the rules from that list and kind of find the missing pieces. So they told us it's a rhombus, so we can use the rhombus rules and the parallelogram rules. So parallelogram, let's actually take this and copy and paste it and bring it with us wherever we need. Let's copy that and shrink it. Okay, so this one says, so for parallelograms, we would say we know that the opposite angles are equal. So this has to be 100 degrees. And then we also know in a rhombus, which this is, that diagonals bisect. So whatever this one is, it has to cut it in half. Meaning basically this and this are the same. So if we know that same side interior have to add to 180, which is this rule, we know that together that has to be 80. I just did 180 minus 100. And so if that's 80, then each one is 40. So you would say the measure of angle 1 is 100, measure of angle 2 is 40, and measure of angle 3 is 40. If they make you explain why, you could kind of talk about some of these things that I highlighted in pink. So that one was a rhombus. This one says it's a rectangle, so I'm going to pull my rules. And I can use the parallelogram rules and the rectangle rules. And they want to know the length of PN. They told us this one in letters. They want the actual numbers, and then MO. So the rule I'd use here are diagonals are congruent. So I can just set those equal. I can say 7x minus 8 is the same as 4x plus 10. Do a little algebra magic to solve. 7x is 4x plus 18 minus 4x. So 3x is 18. Divide both sides by 3, and x would have to equal 6. Don't forget to plug it back in. They wanted to know what PN was. So plug 6 in here. 7 times 6 is 42. Minus 8. Oh, testing my mental math. 34. And if you wanted, you could check to make sure it worked for this one. that would be 6 times 4, 24, plus 10, 34. So they are congruent. And that is it. The homework is a lot, I feel like, of this kind of stuff. So I hope that helps, and I'm sorry I'm not there. I hope to be back with you guys soon. Here is the homework, and that's all.